tell you off right away that my name is Jean Thaxton, not Nida. And I tell you this because Michael is not my biological child. He was our nephew. We raised him from birth. So I always tell people that Michael was not born of my body. He was born in my heart. That's right. He was my baby. He was our 5th child. He was like everybody's baby. And I always tell people, love doesn't divide, it multiplies. And you can't have too many people love you. So my Michael had 2 sets of parents. He had my husband, Jerry, and I. And he had his biological mother, Maritza Odell, and his biological father, Michael Nida. And we now call him Michael Nida Sr. because our son was named Michael Nida II. I want to thank all of you guys for coming out here. I think this is wonderful. I want to thank Damien. Let me tell you, when we started this, we went out and we didn't even know what to do. And we started joining in together. Damien contacted some of the people in Anaheim, and we joined in with them. And we just kept contacting groups so that we could grow. And I think this is a result of it. We contacted people here in Southern California. The Southern California people contacted the people in Northern California and Central California. And look what we've got. And we're going to get bigger. We're going to get bigger, and we need your support. And you know what? You need to tell your family. Go on YouTube and watch this. But I want to tell you a little bit about our son. Mike was a father of 4 children. He loved his babies so much. He loved his wife so much. Michael became a dad when he was 17 years old. 17 years old. When he and his wife turned 18, shortly after they turned 18, they went down to the courthouse, they got their marriage license, and they got married. And they stayed together that whole time, his entire life. He was married to the same woman, and he had 4 children with her. They were his reason for living. And Michael's last dying words were, "Tell my babies and tell my wife that I love them." A police officer stole my son, the father of my grandchildren, the husband of my daughter-in-law. I also want to tell you that I want to tell you what happened. He was excited about going out that night. It was his birthday in 3 days. He was going to go celebrate it with some friends in Hollywood. He called me, and my husband and I were at the grocery store. I said, "Come on, Mom, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Come home, we're going to meet some friends. We're going to go to Hollywood to celebrate my birthday." We did. We hurried home, much to my regret. We hurried home because we had to be there with his son. The girls were at my other daughters, and we hurried home. He went to the gas station to gas up the truck and to get some food for his son. And less than a half an hour later, my daughter-in-law called me on the phone and said, he's down on the ground, they shot him. I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" "They shot him. They shot Michael." My husband and I ran over there about a mile away from our house, and they were putting Michael in the ambulance. They would not let his wife go with him. And I'm going to tell you that what happened. He was getting gas. He went across the street to get some cigarettes for his wife. He was looking over his shoulder because he was crossing a busy intersection. Police officer was there. There had been a robbery. Somebody held up at a Bank of America a block away. About a half an hour, 45 minutes before that. She thought that robber was dumb enough to stay in the area. She thought Michael was one of the robbers. He did not fit the description of the suspects. The suspects were supposed to be wearing a black hoodie and a red plaid hoodie. Michael had on a blue and yellow striped shirt. And you know what that police officer said? Well, sometimes people confuse stripes with plaids. And she's a police officer, Lord forbid.
Stupid people!
Stupid people. Anyway, Michael went in the store. When he came out, she stopped him. She questioned him. He heard her on the radio. She wanted ID. I think she told him that he stopped him for jaywalking. She turned kind of slightly away from him. Knowing my son, he probably said, oh, hell no, she's not going to run my birthday weekend. And he jumped up and he ran. And he ran across the street back towards his wife, and he saw the other police cars, and he ran between Arco Station and Walgreens, jumped over a fence in the neighborhood there, called his wife and said, come get me, the cops are chasing me. She said, why? He said, I don't know, just come get me. He jumped back across the fence to join her. The police officers that were in the car, that had been in the car, there was 2 police officers at that time. One of the police officers thought he was in a war zone because he brought out a submachine gun, an MP5 submachine gun. And when my son come back over the fence, they told him to get on the ground and spread his arms. He did. When he come over the fence, his shirt went up around his neck. They saw he didn't have a gun. When the police officer that shot him in the back patted him down, he patted him down. He put the gun to his head. He said, I'm going to blow your head off. And then he proceeded to stomp on my son's back, who had a bad back, by the way, because he was in construction. What do you do when somebody grabs an area of you that's injured? You jerk back. He jerked. The cop fell. Not all the way down. He lost his balance. When he did that, the cop had already told my son he's going to blow his head off. And what did he do? When the cop lost his balance, my son ran. He ran for his life.
Right.
He ran for his life. The cop turned around with the gun. He swung around and he shot him in the back. When we went to the hospital, they told us that he was shot 5 times. But the autopsy said there was 3 bullets with 5 wounds. I guess some exit wounds. Then they came out on the news and said that they had captured a robbery suspect who was a gang member and had a weapon. My son did not have a weapon because he wasn't involved in the crime. He didn't even own a weapon. He was not a gang member. He was not involved in any kind of illegal activity. But they wanted to dirty him up. They denied that they shot him in the back for 3 months until one of the online newspapers came out with the autopsy report and put it on the internet. Then they had to admit that, yeah, they shot him in the back. My son was innocent, just like all these other young men. So many of these young people. You know, I want to tell you, before this happened to my son, I used to sit in my living room and watch TV and hear all the news about the police, how they had captured a gang member. They had shot him. He was involved in a robbery. He was on drugs, and he had a gun, and he reached for his gun, and I believed it. I believed it.
No more.
I believed it. How awful of me. How ignorant I was. How ignorant. How ignorant so many people are out there. They believe it. I don't believe it anymore.
That's right.
And I apologize to all of you. I apologize to all of you for believing that for all those years. Okay. I just want to thank my family. I want to thank Damien. He's always been by our side. My husband, Jerry. My niece, Sherry. My daughter, Terry. Terry Ramirez, where is she? These, Tracy, these have been our support group. We've been there together. We work together. No, we don't work. We protest together. Thank you all. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. God bless all of you. Now it is right on.